Hello, Michael Tillinger here with a news message for all the Ubuntu supporters, all the One Small Town patriots, all the One Small Town supporters around the world. There are millions of us out there. This is a quick news message and an update as to where we are, how far we've come, what we're doing, and what we expect will happen in 2022. We have had an incredible year. Many of us are aware how tough the year was. It was tough for many, many people. For me personally, it was probably the toughest year of my life, where everything around me almost collapsed, but somehow by some sort of a miracle, through the support of the One Small Town members, supporters, and especially the patrons of the One Small Town initiative, we've managed to survive. We've managed to get through this very, very dark period and continue the idea of One Small Town, growing it, expanding it to a point where 1 year ago I could not have imagined we would be in this very incredible advanced situation. So it's with deep gratitude to all the people that rose out of the ashes to support the Ubuntu movement, to support me, all the patrons that suddenly arose out of nowhere that are supporting in greater numbers every week and every month the One Small Town office and the Ubuntu office so we can do this important work. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Without you, this would not be possible. Keep in mind, we need to keep growing the patron numbers, because the busier we get, the more funding we need to keep running the office. So I'd like to start off with that by thanking you and reminding you that the mission goes on. We are just getting out of the starting gates. 2021 was an unbelievable year in terms of success of how the One Small Town movement has grown and what we have achieved. So let me remind you what we've achieved in 2021, which is the springboard for 2022, which I believe will be the year in which the first One Small Town is going to be launched. It's just a matter of time now. It is no longer an idea. We're now implementing it. We are doing it. We have a number of small towns that we're busy with. So it's just a matter of time before the first small town is actually launched and starts to play a role of inspiring others and creating that domino effect that I've been talking about for so many years. So we're now sitting with ambassadors in more than 15 countries. We have 16 ambassadors in 15 countries, in fact. And the thing is that more ambassadors want to sign up all the time. We have, however, reached a status quo now where it's almost pointless for us to bring more ambassadors on board while we are actually working on a few small towns in about 3 or 4 countries. So at this stage, if I'm not responding to people that want to become ambassadors, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's not because we don't want any more ambassadors. It's that we can't handle anymore. Our admin office simply cannot handle more admin right now and more taking care of new people that join the team and join this effort. So don't lose faith, don't lose hope. We will bring more ambassadors on board as time goes by and as we get more funding and as we become stronger and bigger and have a bigger management team. We will have ambassadors in every country of the world. So we have 16 ambassadors in 15 countries. We're actively launching small towns in Lebanon, South Africa, Namibia, very soon in Croatia, and most likely very, very soon in the United States. So this is unimaginable. I can tell you that in June 2021, this idea was completely unimaginable to me. Because in June 2021, we were so close to literally hitting the wall that I could not have imagined how successful we would be in the second half of 2021. So I'd like to thank all the ambassadors, thank all the people that have joined me, that are now on our inner core team of activists, of activators, of people that are working every day, making things possible, doing so many amazing things, holding the fort, responding to emails and talking to people, spreading the message, and all the important work that needs to happen day in, day out with the Ubuntu ambassadors and the people that are involved with me on a direct day-to-day basis. So At this stage, what we are doing is we are developing the business plans which we will launch the One Small Towns that we have identified. This is a critical phase that we have reached, and we never expected that it would be this difficult to put business plans together for the businesses that we earmark for the various small towns. So that's the level that we are facing right now. We're working as hard as we possibly can to choose the businesses with the local community, to decide what businesses are best for those communities, what businesses will bring back the quickest return and the long-term returns, and so forth. So the strategic planning that goes into the launch of a One Small Town is far more complex and far more intricate than anyone could have imagined. To launch the One Small Town, we need solid, well-planned business plans that are absolutely watertight and not just ideas on a piece of paper. So that's where we are right now. And I'd like to thank the team of around 10 or 12 very senior and experienced business planners that have joined us now, that are working every day and every week on putting together various business plans for the different towns that we're involved in Lebanon, here in South Africa, in the tribal lands, and in other countries that we're yet to get to, like Namibia, Croatia, and then also the United States. So that's where we are right now. We are at a stage where we are working as fast as we can to deliver the business plans and preparing the local conditions. So we go and engage with the people in the communities. We try and set up a task team, a local task team made up of local people that know the local conditions. So when we identify the potential businesses in those towns, we're not just doing something as an outsider trying to impose their ideas on the community, but actually working with the community, making suggestions and also taking their suggestions so we get the best of all worlds for that community. Very hardcore, successful business models that they may not have thought about, and then also identifying and maximizing what is already there in those communities to resurrect many of those businesses, industrial, agricultural activities that have been neglected over the years. So that's what we're doing, preparing the local conditions, informing the people, setting up local task teams. We're also in the process of drawing up the legal documents, because now what we're going to be doing is setting up the cooperative or the non-profit company in these towns with the various members, so that, and to achieve that, we need legal administrative work. So we need contracts in place, we need to register the co-ops and the legal entities so that everything is done by the book according to the current local situations and the local requirements, the legal requirements. So we're doing everything by the book. Remember, we're using the tools of enslavement as tools of liberation. So that's what we're doing. We're putting everything in place so that we have a very solid foundation upon which we launch the One Small Town. The legal documents are obviously going to take a lot of work with some very experienced legal advisors and lawyers that have joined our team. And I must say that we've had some great people join us on all levels, in the business planning side and also on the legal side. So that's where we are in those areas, the business planning and the legal side. What we are doing in most of the small towns we're looking at is we're putting a lot of focus on agriculture. And I'm sure all of you will realize that food security, future food security, water security is probably the primary focus that we need to look at. So a lot of our efforts and energy is going into agricultural business plans as diverse as we can get. And what it's turning out to be, not only food security, so we're not only talking about corn and maize and wheat and whatever, vegetables and all kinds of food that we can grow, but also on the production of food, production of as diverse as possible food products that we can start developing new brands and new supply chains of food to our people, to our community, and then export it from there. That's ultimately, obviously, the One Small Town plan. But to do that, we need to grow as much diverse food as we can. So as expected, at the back of my mind, I guess, as expected, the agricultural side is taking a lot of energy and a lot of focus. The other area that we are getting involved in very aggressively and very successfully is in the health and wellness sector, community-owned hospitals. And once you start to see how all of this connects, it becomes a beautiful, clear picture of setting this foundation up. A foundation of absolute, solid foundation for the community to create prosperity and abundance in all the different levels. On the agriculture side, the reason I mentioned the hospitals, because on the agriculture side, it turns out that the medicinal plants and natural African medicinal plants and whatever other country that we're in, there are hundreds and sometimes thousands of medicinal plants that we can grow. In South Africa, for example, we have more than 2,500 medicinal plants that grow in our country. So there's a very strong focus on the agricultural side to grow medicinal plants, which we will then use for packaging and preparing in all the different applications, from capsules and tablets to ointments to eye drops. I mean, whatever you can make from these medicinal herbal plants. You can imagine this is a huge scope, and this is why it's so exciting, because it provides us and presents us with an incredible investment opportunity, because the medicinal plants alone, growing medicinal plants on a large scale, is an incredible return revenue for the investors and for the community. So a lot of focus and energy is going on the medicinal plants, which then obviously connects and leads to our local community-owned hospital. We now have an agreement with a hospital builder in South Africa, which is an international builder, and they have offices in many other countries. So we can now build hospitals pretty much faster than any other existing hospitals, with a specific style of hospital building. These are 5-star world-class hospitals that will be community-owned hospitals. This will be the first time that anything like this happens. I'm not sure if this happened anywhere in the world, but it's certainly going to be the first time in South Africa. And we are literally on the verge of changing the way that community-owned hospitals serve their community, provide hospital plans, provide medical aid, and everything to do with visiting doctors, getting treatment, getting diagnosis, and the health and wellness of that entire community. So this is potentially one of the most exciting spearheads with which we can enter small towns to set up, as a first phase, the local community-owned hospital. So I'll be talking a lot more about this as the weeks go in 2022 go by, because this is potentially one of the areas with which we can enter small towns without the rest of the big plan in place, because there's such a desperate need for this kind of community-owned health and wellness and healthcare that it has literally become one of the focal points, without me realizing that this would become a focal point. So as you can hear from my description, this is a vast, big undertaking. It requires a lot of strategic planning, a lot of strategic thinking, a lot of clever minds and brilliant thinkers, as I'm blessed to have been surrounded by these people, that all the Ubuntu members, all the ambassadors, all the advisors that have joined our team. We're even working with specific cryptocurrencies that create potential funding mechanisms for the small towns. Not saying that we are creating our own currency or own cryptocurrency to run the One Small Town with, but utilizing certain cryptocurrencies that are community and humanitarian friendly. So there's so much going on right now. So I trust you can see and hear from my descriptions that this has turned into a vast, integrated, very complex strategic planning exercise. It is very simple in its original idea, but it is becoming a very exciting, complex, integrated launch idea. And that's what I believe attracts so many people, because once they see the integrated nature of what we're doing, how everything supports everything else, how the hospital will support the agricultural growth of medicinal plants, how that'll support our own health and wellness pharmaceutical industry, that we create a pharmaceutical company that starts to create all these health and wellness products, while we also creating allopathic mainstream products, because that's a cash cow in any language. So once you start seeing the complete integrated nature of what we're doing, it gets very, very exciting. We have experts. Recently, I was able to bring in an expert in South Africa on agriculture, on various agricultural business plans, including hemp and other related products to that. And literally every step we take opens more doors of opportunity. So it's really on that note that I would like to tell you, nothing can stop us now. We have started the One Small Town implementation program. We are way into it. We are making great progress on a daily basis, on a weekly basis with our business plans. And very soon we will reach that stage where we have 50 to 100 well-designed, well-planned, watertight business plans, at which point we'll be ready to launch that first One Small Town. Whether it's in Lebanon, whether it's in South Africa, whether it's in Namibia, whether it's in the USA, whether it's in Croatia, the number of countries are just going to keep growing. But somewhere, somehow, the first One Small Town will launch in 2022. So I'd like you to go out there and spread the message, read the Ubuntu book, read our website, and get as much information as you can so that you know where we are, what we're doing, what the implementation plan is. Watch the crash course video on our website, and then do one very important thing. Go and tell everyone. If this resonates with you, then you have a responsibility to go out there and share this message with everybody. Because right now, we live in very uncertain times. We have no idea what our governments have got in store for us. We have no idea what the global cabal have got in plan for us. But we know what we have planned for ourselves. And we can go out there and create our own reality. Remember, the more we manifest, the more we envisage this, the more we visualize the One Small Town, the more we are manifesting this reality for ourselves. Whether you believe that or not, doesn't matter. This is how the nature of reality works. The more we talk about it, the more we think about it, the more we share it, the more we manifest this into our own reality. And I can feel it. I can sense it. I know we're doing it already. And I know there are millions of people out there that feel the same way that I do. Otherwise, we would not be in this incredible position and situation where we are launching the One Small Town. So go out there, tell everybody. If you can, become a patron, make a small donation every month, because as we grow, as our office and our administration grows, we need more and more funding to keep that administration going and keep this making a success, or keep growing and making this a success. So I invite you all to join us. Sign up to our newsletter, become a patron, and most importantly, go out there and tell everybody about One Small Town. 2022 will be the year where the first One Small Town will be launched. It is just a matter of time. On that note, I'd like to say thank you once again to all those that have supported me, supported all those around me, all the patrons that have joined us. Don't stop supporting us. We need you now more than ever before. Thank you for all your love, all the thousands and thousands of emails and messages of well wishes and love and support. It is because of your support that I'm still here, that I've managed to survive, that I've managed to take this to this position and the state that we're in right now. So keep doing it, keep spreading the message, and we will see you in 2022 with the first One Small Town being launched. Until later, this is Michael Tellinger. Bye for now.